Macron forced to apologise for raising voice after losing cool at EU rivals. Emmanuel Macron has lost his cool at EU rivals during a bitter exchange after he was accused of making France more authoritarian. During a televised Q&A session, the French president was accused of turning the country into an authoritarian state. But Mr. Macron lashed out at the claims, saying they are not Hungary or Turkey. Speaking to Brut, Mr. Macron said, "We're not Hungary, Turkey or others. Let's not let France be caricatured. I think we're letting ourselves be infected by an activities discourse, very hostile to the government's action and to yours truly, which I respect, but I cannot let people say that we are reducing liberties in our country." At the end of the interview, Mr. Macron apologized for raising his voice a little. Mr. Macron's angry outburst comes as the relationship between France and Turkey deteriorates. Disputes between the two countries have escalated over issues such as Syria and the conflict in the Nagorno-Karabakh region near Russia. Elsewhere in the interview, Mr. Macron discussed police brutality, French values and citizenship and the effects of the coronavirus pandemic on the younger generation. Mr. Macron also refused to use the term police violence, claiming the term has become politicized and a slogan for the left. He added, "We don't have an American-like police with about 10 deaths at every protest." Mr. Macron also acknowledged their handling of the pandemic but said there haven't been any countries who have handled it well. The French president continued, "Was everything done the right way? I said no. Is there one country in the world that did it the right way? I haven't seen that." Speaking of potentially standing for a second term, Mr. Macron said there could be some circumstances under which he would not seek re-election but failed to say what those would be. Mr. Macron's comments come after Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan said he is a burden on France. Speaking in Istanbul this week, Mr. Erdogan said, "Macron is a burden on France. Macron and France are going through a very dangerous period actually. My hope is that France gets rid of the Macron trouble as soon as possible." Mr. Macron faces a tough race to win a second term in office following widespread protests across the country against government restrictions. With less than 18 months to go until the next presidential election, the latest polls have narrowed with support increasing for his main rival, the far-right National Rally leader, Marine Le Pen. The Turkish leader also appeared to mock President Macron and echoed remarks made by Ilham Aliyev, the president of Azerbaijan, who insisted if France is so concerned they should give Armenians the keys to the city of Marseille. President Erdogan said, Ilham Aliyev had some advice for the French. What did he say? If they love Armenians so much, then they should give Marseille to the Armenians. I am making the same recommendation. If they love them so much, they should give Marseille to the Armenians.